Yo, what the fuck is going on, man? It's Primo Sports. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that shit. You know the vibes, man. It's episode 29 or 28 actually. Back in the motherfucking building, like I said. This your host Jake, spreading love. I'm with my co-host.
Yes, sir. You already know who it is. It's your boy Lex, and welcome to another episode of Primo Sports with Soul Game. No hype.
Yeah, so we're getting into it, man. We got Lions, bitch asses getting eliminated. Feel me? We got Spurs, Sun and OKC. You know, Terrence Crawford with the retirement. Bud is calling it quits, which I don't really believe so, but that's kind of what's going on right now. Just getting right into it, man. We'll start off with Spurs OKC, man. People said it was gonna be a rivalry after what they saw in the cup. Shea even acknowledged that fact that yeah, it looks like it probably will be a rivalry just based off of how young both teams are. But it's looking like the Spurs got their number. Um, now that's three in a row, belt to ass. OKC seems like they just don't have really an answer for the way that Shea's being defended by Castle, and obviously Wemby's always a problem when he's on the court. So, do you think this is like? Do you take this as it's a panic time for OKC, or just move accordingly? Like, how do you feel like their mindset should be?
I don't think panic, but definitely you got to figure something out for the Spurs because they obviously know how to play you, and I think OKC has a real problem with their guards. Um, and I honestly think that them going to get Cornette was a great pickup for them because he knows how to play with guards very well on the screens. He knows how to roll to the basket, and he was able to do a lot of that just with the screens, rolling to the basket. He gets the putbacks, but the way that the guards are just able to get to the middle of the paint and get to just the basket in general, it just looks too easy for them. Um, I feel like the way that Castle and the way that Fox are just able to get to the basket and get to that mid range, it just looks way too easy for them. And like OKC really doesn't have an answer for that, especially like I said with Cornette out there being able to just roll to the basket and get those putbacks for them. You know what I mean? If they miss it. And I also think that the Spurs are also well built with just their personnel, having a good mix of young and some vets out there. You know what I mean? Because Fox, he's been in the league for a while, but he's still considered a vet.
Yeah.
But he's still young. And like I said, Cornette, great pickup. That's great for boards, putbacks, the screens opening up so your guards got that open lane. I think that helps out a lot. Obviously, with Wemby being out there, it helps out. But I feel like too on defense, it's like they're making OKC play from the outside in. So they're not really getting a lot of easy buckets on the in the middle so much. It seems like a lot of it like from the last game at least, a lot of it was coming from the outside. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when they weren't able to make them shots, they're getting Spurs are getting boards and just pushing it and getting to the mid range and getting to the basket easily. And I think that's what's kind of like the big difference so far right now.
Yeah, and I think that there's something going on with that Wemby and Chet shit too. Like, I feel like Wemby's heard the chatters of, who's better, Chet or Wemby. Chet got a better team and he got a chip, but give me Wemby every fucking day of my life over Chet. Just based off of yes, you might have the same skill set, but he's 7'4" and he has that skill set. So I'm gonna take that over Chet and the way he I mean, he bitched them the other day, pushed, they called an offensive foul, but yo, threw that boy at least almost across the court. Then came through, and even though they called it, did the windmill anyway. I feel like that was just a statement when he did that. Like it was yeah, we're not worried about y'all. Trust this. It's a new sheriff in town, and we called it since the beginning. I called it, back when I first brought this up about the Spurs. I said this really gonna be the year type shit. I don't know if this is the year of a championship, but definitely the year of the leap. Of
Yeah,
coming together and actually fucking being nice and having a good ass record. And right now they are number one in the power rankings. Well deserved. You beat OKC 3 times in a row, 2 times within the span of like a week or something, 3 times within the span of like a month. Um, it's a good look for you. It's a confident booster.
yeah.
Um,
This,
I think like with Castle and them, it's more of they get in the lanes and then they're able to Castle's really showing that he's a pass first kind of guard and he's really setting up Wemby for these lobs. And then like my thing is they not even really letting De'Aaron Fox be who he wanna really be. Cause I feel like if they do that, then it's really up for everybody. Like, cause De'Aaron Fox could really light you up for 30 and 3/4 easily. Um, Super duper fast, mid range. Um, I think more Castle is better suited for running the general role. Getting people involved. Fox is more of a scorer first guard than passing. I feel like, but he also man nice with the passing. Even in the Emirates Cup game, him and Castle each had like 8+ assists. So, but he had like a couple more turnovers and Castle had zero. So it seems like Castle's more of the playmaker. And then you got De'Aaron Fox, like I said, they ain't even really letting him be like Fox for real. Like, yo, go crazy. Because, I mean, I get it. It's working. Don't do anything. Don't force nothing. But shit, just know that they still have that. And if they need them to, yo, we down 10, 15, need you to start going crazy, you feel me? They got that. They got somebody they could go to with that. And then obviously Wimby's just unstoppable. I want to give you credit though on the Cornet take. Definitely, because he be getting hella offensive rebounds when um Wemby's out. It's not really like it's a drop off, but it ain't crazy on the boards drop off. You know what I'm saying? You're just losing like the crazy ability and all of that as far
right.
as like
That's why.
creating shots and all that, but he's not that's not his role. He
Right.
does his role very well and that's what you need
That's
to
why I felt
build,
like
you know
it
what I'm
was
saying?
like, and that's why I kind of understand with Wemby coming off the bench right now, because of the injury or whatever to the calf or whatever. Like I see more why they like in a sense got Cornette because, like I said, the way he's able to play with guards and just go to the basket, bro. Like I miss it. I know that there's a good chance you're gonna get the putback. If you get fouled, he's gonna hit his free throws. So like he's like the perfect piece for what you need as a backup. You know what I mean? Like just let everybody else do their thing and you just do this. You know what
I
I mean?
mean, listen to what you just said. I mean, you're saying he's coming off the bench. Imagine, okay, that they're the number one fucking power rank team right now in the NBA, and Wimby's coming off the bench.
Hmm.
Imagine when his legs get right, pause. You feel me? And it's really like he's in there putting in mad minutes, and then you got Cornette just ready off of the bench. He's already used to that role anyway. He's been both starter and backup. He could do both.
Right. Like it helps out. It really just takes off a lot of pressure off of Wemby. I feel like. And then just with his experience, you know what I mean. Just it just helps out the team. You know,
If you run them
team.
both at the same time too,
Then
I
it's a
mean, then it's
problem.
like
Then it's
really
a
like
problem because
boards is crazy.
because then you're not worried about Luke scoring 30 because he's not going to do that, right?
Yeah.
You're just worried about I have to keep him off the block. I got to keep him off the glass because he's gonna get this putback. And if I foul him, he's gonna make his free throw. So it was a great pickup, bro. Great pickup for him, and the way that they're looking. I like what I also like is just that like bringing up the Chet and Wemby thing. I like how Wemby's really on it, like his aggression this season. His aggression has been on a 10.
He's talking shit.
Like him chilling with KG and going with them monks and all them other like that really helped him because he's on one this year, bro. He is really on one. So like the Spurs just hopefully he just stays healthy and then we'll see what happens for the rest of the season.
And then,
So
yeah, and then it's hopefully he just does what he's supposed to do every game, which is I don't need you taking that many jump shots. Not that many. Take them. I know. I get it. It's part of your game, but bro, really, you could just we could just really throw you the lob and you could just get these points
just
almost
keep
at
it
any time.
easy, my man. Keep
You
it
know what I
simple.
mean?
Just
Like
you're the tallest dude in the league, man.
sometimes you gotta keep it simple, and not make it too complicated. But also, I understand that I would never want to take that away from you because I might need you to be able to go into that bag at some point where I need a step back three. I don't need a lob, you know what I'm saying? So
Might need to hit a little 18 footer for me or something
yeah,
like that. 20 footer or something. Yeah.
yeah. So and then well, back to the original question of whether I think OKC should panic. No. Um, I think you gotta take this shit, take the film, start studying and seeing
And
where
just figure it out.
where it's at because that I don't think that and also let's not get it twisted. Regular season shit don't mean nothing when it comes to the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. So I've seen teams, sweep teams in the regular season and then lose to them in the playoffs. Seen that shit happen plenty of times. So that's one thing that I would have in my head if I'm OKC. Like, bro, this happens all the time. Sometimes they just catch you good in the regular season, but when the playoff comes and the rosters get shortened and it's really that time, and that's when experience really starts to matter. Then it's like you guys still have that edge. You guys just won a championship, so excuse me, fucking high noons. But I think that OKC just have to kind of keep that mindset. Just knowing that, like, obviously this happens all the time. It doesn't have implications on what's gonna happen in the playoffs. Y'all still got a crazy record. Y'all not gonna beat the Warriors record now for sure with that type of shit. But who cares about that? It's not about that. It's about just being ready for when the playoff come. When the playoffs come, when you're like at that level, when you're at that caliber of team, you're not really worried about the other shit. Like you can't get caught up in, oh, we lost the Spurs 3 times. Oh well, we'll have let them, if they do that to you in the playoffs, then you start worrying about that shit. But obviously, you got some film to study. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get in the lab. Like I said, I think the real problem is that, and this is where I feel like the Knicks, if we could get a chance to get at OKC, we have a good kind of chance against them. Is when you have tall guards or wings that can guard Shea and stay with him, so he's not really blowing by them. They're strong enough to stay in front of them and not, foul. I feel like that's kind of what the Spurs have with Castle and Vassell and shit like that. Like they're bigger guards, and then even Dylan Harper is also kind of a bigger guard. So like you're not going against a smaller person. You're going against somebody that's probably your height, and some of them play like they're wing players, not really necessarily guards like Vassell is. So he can move with you, right? And he's strong enough because he's a wing. He ain't even a guard, so he's not small. And he could stay with you. So I feel like that's kind of where once you kind of stop Shea at where that free throw line is at, if you're able to just pause him and then make him make a decision instead of having that mid range that he's always able to go to, if you cut that off, you kind of limit his game because he's like basket, midi shooter, can pull the three, but that's not really his game as a 3 point shooter. So if you're able to make him live at the 3 point line, then you're having a good game. It's when he starts getting into that little mid range and he starts getting you into foul trouble and all that shit. That's when it becomes a problem because he's good at slashing to the rim and he knows how to. He has very good body control. But if you can just make him into a 3 point shooter for most of the time, then you got a better chance. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, Shea is crafty, but he isn't like AI crafty with the handles or none of that. Like it's not like a Kyrie crafty. It's I know how to get to my spots, but it's not really like some and one shit where he could bing bing bing. You know what I mean? Like go crazy like that. So if you could just kind of keep him in that range and then like I said make him have to make a decision, then you could kind of see like that's where they struggle at a little bit. Um but they should be fine. They're gonna be in the playoffs obviously, and shit, hey, if that's a matchup, I'm tuning in every game. I'm locked into
Good
every
chance it
game.
might be. To be honest
So
with you, there's a great chance that it might be.
yeah, so OKC Spurs, valid rivalry. You have to acknowledge it now. Um, but yeah, moving on, man. We get into a little bit of football. Lions, man, fucking very disappointing as far as the aspirations that they had for this season. We looked at the Lions as NFC Championship, not guaranteed, but definitely like potential and Super Bowl potential. Um, Eliminated by the Vikings that had nothing to play for with a backup quarterback. Um, Honestly, truly, because we don't sugarcoat on Primo Sports, real bum shit. If you want me to be honest, real bum shit. Real Detroit, you're going backwards right now with the shit. We were just talking about it in a few in the previous episodes about how this was good for Detroit. This is crazy. Like to turn the Lions into a contender is wild. Eliminated. You're not even going to the playoffs. So, do you think this is the beginning of the end for the Lions, or do you think there's still some type of hope
I
with?
mean, could be they need a lot of this has to do with their loss of their offensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator left and went to Chicago. Look at Chicago right now. So for them to be eliminated, I think what they're 8-8 right now.
Yep.
They lost their offensive identity. So with that, them not being able to move the ball, it just got easy for teams. I feel like what I mean. Like they got hit to whatever they were doing. So it limited what the Lions were able to do. You know what I mean? Because now with their offensive coordinator being gone and them not having the legit offense, it's like, okay, what's your identity? And how are you putting up these points? You know what I mean? You got Goff back there, that's great. Got a decent running game or whatever, but where's the offense coming from?
Yeah, I'm not sold on Goff. If you want me to be honest, I'm
Where's
not
the
sold on him.
right? So it makes you think like, was it the offense that was being ran these last couple seasons that just made Goff seem like he was that guy, or like because that's what it's seeming like. You know what I mean? Because now look at Caleb right now. And look how he's performing out there in Chicago right now. Chicago's what, 12-3 right now?
They about
About to go to the playoffs, bro. They might. I think they aren't they fighting for a 1 seed, or I don't know how
they're
I'm gonna
close to
recall.
it.
Yeah, so either whatever seed they're in, they're gonna be in a top seed. You know what I mean?
They got the
And
division pretty much
right, they got that
sewed up.
division locked up. So them losing their offensive coordinator, they
Green Bay's
lost their.
still creeping, but it's
Yeah,
close.
yeah, they lost their
Yeah.
but they lost their offensive identity, and it just got easy for teams to key in on certain things, and then when you had a backup quarterback beat you, you only put up 10 points.
Yeah, it was.
You put up 10, like you needed to win that game, and you didn't show up. Offensively, you didn't show up. So what was the game plan? How
Yeah,
were
and
you?
that's the key right there. Is offensively you didn't show up because defensively you did. They were fucking them up for most of the fucking game. It's they wouldn't put up no points. You know what I mean? Like
And
you
you
got
can't expect the defense to save you all the time
every
because
time.
what happens is, and I've watched it with the Patriots the last few seasons. You'll have a solid defense, but if your offense could not score the ball, the opposite team, they're just gonna wear your defense down.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna figure some shit
And
out.
eventually they're gonna figure it out, and eventually they're gonna figure out your offense to where they're gonna shut you down completely, keep your defense on the field. Your defense is gonna get tired. You're gonna get easy scores. You're gonna get hella yak. You know what I mean? Off of simple catches, simple runs that you can stop at the line possibly, and that's when the middle of the field just automatically just becomes wide open. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and it always seems like the middle of the field is always wide open when your defense is hella tight.
Yep.
And it's like they don't have no identity on offense. It almost reminds me of like almost like with the Eagles, but the Eagles are just in a better position right now. You feel me? Where it's like, what is your identity? What are you gonna hang your hat on at the end of the day offense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Lions don't have that. So they're just reverting right back to who they once were. And it's almost like how would you let your offensive coordinator go?
Yeah, I mean, you must have thought something. You must have seen. I mean, obviously, you must have seen something that okay, maybe we could make it work without them type shit. But obviously, it's not fucking working. You're eliminated, and like you said, the Bears are thriving. They're in the same division. You know, Dan Campbell, he's a great coach. You know what I mean? For me, it's Goff, man. Like Goff doesn't when the shit matters, man. You can't rely on him, bro. Like you can't. Like he ain't. He been to the Super Bowl one time, and that was against y'all. And that shit was like the worst Super Bowl. It was a boring ass Super Bowl, very defensive, but like he just couldn't.
Couldn't do shit with
He
the
couldn't
ball.
do shit, and it's like, bro, you in this moment. Yet the game is close enough for y'all to win this shit. Um, and you don't come up when it matters. And then look at what happens as soon as the Rams traded your ass and got Stafford, they got Chippy, and they might get Chippy this year. So now it really looks crazy.
Stafford might get himself
If
an MVP.
Stafford gets it gets an MVP, and he
Oh,
gets a
he's to
second,
the hall.
he's already in the hall for
He's
me.
to nah.
But
For me too. I
yeah, yeah,
think
but
no matter
like,
what, that man
you
is in the
can't even.
hall,
Yeah,
bro.
but like gets MVP and gets a second ring. I mean, they because like one there was like a little bit like oh both teams kind of won because they're both doing good and all of that. But then Stafford won the first year that he went over there, so it was kind of like yeah, well he's doing better, but it's still kind of close because Detroit's nice now, and
Mm-hmm.
Goff is kind of hooping over there. But now
But the consistency.
it's looking like it didn't. The Rams won that shit completely landslide. That's what it's starting to look like right now.
It's the
You know what I'm saying?
consistency. As long as that trade has been going on, that as long ago as that trade happened, Stafford has been way more consistent.
In
You feel
prime
me?
time shit when it
And then
matters, like
when it comes down to it, like you said, when it comes to the prime time moments, Matt shows up.
yeah, he
He
brings his
shows up.
duffel bag, bro.
Even if the Rams was to like even if they lose the game, right? You still gonna look at the highlights or you look at the stats and you're gonna see Matt Ball, bro.
Yeah,
The numbers were there. You can look at the highlights. Okay, he was balling. You can see that he was balling. It might have just been a play that fucked him up or some shit like that. But other than that, since Matt's been in the league, bro, he's been a hooper. You know what I mean? And for a long time being over there in Detroit, it was just him and Megatron. And
yeah,
they was just over there putting up numbers. They wasn't even winning like that.
yeah. They're just putting up numbers.
All they
No
were
reason.
doing was just
On
putting
some
up
Barry
numbers.
Sanders shit.
You know what I'm saying? Just putting up numbers. And that's it. But now, the way that it's looking, like, I know Matt he has to be super happy that he is where he is right now. And it's a possibility that He does get himself a second ring.
Yeah. And he does it after the trade, obviously, and it would just solidify y'all lost that trade. Y'all didn't win it at all. I mean, there really wasn't an argument because the Rams won it, but there was a little bit of a hey, but at least Detroit's a contender, so they, maybe Goff will match them at some point. There was that optimism, like, oh well, Jared Goff could get a ring too, so then it would kind of equal out. But it ain't even happening. And you ain't if you wanted to be a real motherfucker, you would do your thing so that way you could meet them in the playoffs. You feel me? And you eliminate Stafford. But you don't got that. And you don't got that. And then if you look at it, right, Stafford and him are like the same as far as like they're not mobile quarterbacks. They're pocket quarterbacks. But Stafford just does it better. You feel me? You got weapons. You got Monse Brown. You got Jeremy Gibbs. You got Jameer Gibbs. You got David Montgomery. You got Jameson Williamson or whatever Williams. He's dumb nice too. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Sam Laporta. Even I think he might have been injured, but still, like, you've
You got
had
some
those
guys.
weapons.
You
You've
got some
had
dudes.
weapons. Um, Stafford had Cooper Cup. But that he had like a decline in Cooper Cup. He didn't really have, but he, in the Super Bowl, he was prime
Yeah,
Cooper Cup
he
though.
was
That
Cooper
he went
Cup.
crazy in that bitch.
He was Cooper
But
Cup.
he has some weapons that Puka's nobody knew Puka Nakua was gonna be this fucking good. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that
He
man is amazing.
yeah, bro. Like I said, he Detroit Palomalo receivers. So
Nigga's the best wide receiver in the league,
so like
bro.
him, and then now he got Devontae Adams, and other people had him. Aaron Rodgers had Devontae Adams. They did work in Green Bay, but they couldn't do shit over there in New
Jets.
York.
Yeah.
So I think Devontae Adams now, that's a motherfucker right there that you're not. You better hope he's not that healthy when he gets to the playoffs because I'm telling you right now, he's the most hungriest.
He wants one.
He wants one. He has all the accolades you could think of as far as receiver goes. You feel me? He is one of the best that to ever play, to ever lace him up at the wide receiver position. He needs that ring, and he's right there. You know what I'm saying? He's right there on the cusp. I think we've already said this a million times. We think that they're gonna go to it, but we he
Will
has
he
to
win it? He has to win
he
it.
has to win it. So you know, there's that, and the Lions, they gotta fucking figure this shit out next year. I don't know. For me, it's like we're evaluating Goff. That's my thing. We're evaluating whether we're keeping you. If we feel like we
I mean,
could
you gotta
get,
go get a coordinator, man.
yeah. I mean,
You
obviously this
got
didn't
to go
work,
get a coordinator, man. Like,
but it's wild because then you have games that it looks good. Jameer Gibbs scored like 4 touchdowns in a motherfucking game. Everything looks like it's clicking. Everybody's hitting on all cylinders. Amon St. Brown is going off. But
but yeah, and then it's like this too. It's like, damn, what
so
do
is it really the coordinator or is it Goff?
I think it's both.
Right? Because it's
I
a
think it's both,
combination of
bro. I
both.
think
Like,
it's
because
both.
maybe the coordinator this doesn't work for Goff.
Right.
Like, maybe he would work with somebody. Because there's no reason like that you're gonna get rid. You're like the Lions where they're at. They're not gonna get a bum of a coordinator. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're gonna get a good one. Now maybe it just didn't work with the type of quarterback that Jared Goff is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because it's just crazy because
Or
it's like,
Goff, and then vice versa. My fault, cut you off, but my vice versa is probably this system don't work for Goff. Like Goff is like, well, this shit
yeah.
don't work for me.
And then it's crazy because then it's like he has this drop off. Caleb doesn't have a good season last year. He gets there, the Lions coordinator, offensive coordinator, and he's shining. And the Bears are just cooling right now, leading the
Yeah, it's crazy.
division.
It's
You
crazy.
feel me? So it's like that, just that little like flip. It's like okay, like I said, it might be both, bro. Where it's like yeah, you need a new coordinator, but then it's like, all right, do we go and draft somebody, or do we see who's out there in the free agent pool, depending on who's going to be a free agent.
And
You know what I mean?
I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. Honestly, I didn't think. I thought I didn't really wasn't sold on Caleb shit.
I
You know what I'm
wasn't
saying?
either.
The
I wasn't
nails,
either.
oh, you know, the crying and all this shit, all this emotional shit, all this Gen Z shit. I was like, I'm not sold on any of this. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
But I gotta give this kid credit. I mean, this kid can make some motherfucking throws. Clutch.
he's a baller, bro.
He a
He's showing that
baller.
he's a
He's
baller.
showing
No
up when it
bullshit.
matters, like fourth quarter, game winning drives.
Facts, facts.
Um, you know, he's he's a bad bitch out there, and he's doing this. He's a bad bitch. He's a baddie, bro. Pause. He's out there. You know, he's out there like this, bro. He's doing this. He's scoring and clocking T, bro. I'm
That
just
was a
saying.
good one.
He's out there. He's out there throwing touchdowns and doing this. Clocking T on motherfuckers, dog. I'm telling you. So big shout out to Caleb, man. You know, out there doing this thing. Lions, y'all smoked. Still though, I mean, there's still hope because there's talent there. So figure it out, coaching wise. Keep Dan Campbell. I don't know whether it's finding a coordinator or finding a quarterback, but one of them, you know, son's got to give at that point. But yeah, man, that's it's sad to see because we thought that we were happy for Detroit. You know, they've been asked for so long. They started coming up, and then this type of season is very unexpected. But oh well, man, shit happens, man. Fuck it. At least you're not the Giants, you know. So be happy about that. But yeah, man, wrapping that up, man. Moving on. We got to get into this shit, man. We didn't. We should have kind of been talked about this because it's kind of happened. Like, not. It's been a little bit since this happened, but it's been kind of popping up more on the feed a little bit lately for me. Is Terrence Bud Crawford with the retirement, and the question is like, where is he at as far as GOAT status? Is he the GOAT of boxing? Um, and what is your thoughts on that? Do you feel like he's the GOAT or do you feel like he's really retired?
I don't think he's necessarily really retired. I honestly think I think it's the politics behind boxing, especially right now. The politics right now,
Yeah.
when it comes to combat sports in general, like it's always a little ugly. But then, with boxing, especially nowadays, this is nasty work. So I think it's a lot of this politics stuff. And if he's able to find some type of common ground with it, or if things end up playing more into his favor, then I think he's gonna be back to fighting. But obviously, I think it's gonna have to be a big fight. But right now in boxing, there isn't a lot of like up and comers with big names right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's gonna be hard. So if he does retire, I honestly it would be smart because then he goes out on top. He's gonna go out, little brain damage. You know what I mean? So he'll still be able to move around and fucking communicate very well, without the slurred speech and shit. But GOAT conversation, he's it's debatable. You could definitely put him in that conversation. Going off of his record, and then the people he fought. So definitely in the conversation, I believe. But I don't think he's done yet, honestly.
Yeah, I think well you're definitely right about politics and the fact that they wanted to charge him. They make you spend money for the belt, man. Like to hold on to the belt, you have to like pay a taxes on the belt or some shit like that. And I think he was like, "Fuck that! Why the fuck should I be paying fucking taxes on a belt that I won? Like I'm not about to be doing that shit because I'm holding the belt. I'm waiting for a fight." And right now, I don't really think there is a fight. You got Boots Ennis. as far as probably the only person I could see that it would be entertaining and somebody that we wanted to see him fight. But bro, he fought Canelo. Like that was it. Like to be honest, that was fucking it. What else are you gonna do, bro? You moved up 3 weight classes and fought Canelo, who was basically pound for pound at that time. Like you can't really. What else are you gonna do? Maybe if somehow Javante could come up and weight, that's something that it could be interesting. Um, where maybe y'all could meet at a catch weight or something. But even then, it's like Javante ain't as decorated as Canelo. Like that's the most decorated person you could have fought, to be honest. And you moved up to his weight class and outboxed the shit out of him. Put pause on that boy. So I feel like there's no point of him boxing. There's nothing to you know. There's nobody to for the challenge. You went up 3 weight classes, bro. It's like this is unheard of. Which is why it does put him in the conversation for GOAT. Um, but for your reason for saying that, who he's fought is kind of the reason why he's not the GOAT to me because of who he's fought. Because Canelo and Earl Spence Jr. is pretty much as good as it gets as far as the names go. Which again, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He can't really control who the fuck is the person. The people that are boxing at the time he's boxing. But for me, it's still Floyd. Just for the simple fact of the
That's why I think the goal is.
resume.
That's why I think the goal is.
It's De La Hoya, it's Miguel Cotto, it's Zab Judah, it's Manny Pacquiao, it's also excuse me, it's also Canelo, it's Shane Mosley. I mean, these are all like names that in boxing.
And that's the thing
That's
too. Why I would think that why I had Floyd, like I would put Floyd above him is because in that era, just all the names that you named, all all top tier fighters. And in that era of boxing that Floyd had to fight him in, there was nobody left.
yeah, but then
There
I
was
could play devil's
nobody.
advocate too. I could say the other side of it and go, yeah, but I'm the only person that's ever done what I did. I went up 3 weight classes and I took out somebody and fucking had belts through 3 weight classes. All right. And the shit you did technically has been done before. Rocky Marciano was an undefeated fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of these fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson and other ones, they have gone a long time without losing. They like had more wins without losing than you, but then they lost eventually. But they
Right,
got
they
like
go on an
200 fucking
expedition,
fights
shit.
and shit.
Yeah,
So
they done already had a
technically
billion
there's
fights.
somebody that's done shit that you've done. Now nobody's really done it in the fashion you've done it. Um, you
That's what make it debatable.
because you're doing it. You're doing the sport of boxing. Is to hit and to not be hit, and you're the best at that. Um, Now that kind of goes into a preferable standpoint of what do you like? Do you like somebody that goes out there and knocks people out, or do you like somebody that is technical boxing? Now, what makes you better? Because in that aspect, I could almost compare it to like baseball. Now, if I hit a bunch of singles and doubles, but I bat 300, 330, but you hit 40 home runs, 50 home runs, but you bat 250. Now, what do you prefer? What's better? Am I better or are you better? Because the name of the game is hitting the ball. The name of the game isn't hitting the ball out the park. Now, the name of the game of boxing is to hit and not be hit. It isn't to knock people out every time. But if you're starching people and knocking people out all the time, it makes you look better than somebody that goes to a decision. You know what I mean? Because you look more dominant.
It's like Mike and shit like that. Mike Tyson was out here just knocking niggas out 1, 2 rounds and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
not smooth.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like no, I think that's why I feel like it would be like it's a great
It's a
debate.
good debate. I
It's
think.
a
I think.
great
I
debate.
think she. I think. I'll still lean towards Floyd, but I'll say that he's done enough to put himself there, and for sure, is on the Mount Rushmore. You got
He's
to
a
move
beast.
somebody off. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
Like,
beast for him to go up 3 weight classes and not only beat Canelo, but he pretty much dominated that fight.
oh yeah,
He
whooped him,
pretty he pretty
whooped him.
much dominated that
Yeah,
fight. Like you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a. I'm not gonna say Canelo ain't do shit, but he just didn't have an answer for this
no,
nigga.
he didn't.
You
He
know what I'm
got
saying?
outboxed. He got
He just
outboxed.
was not ready for that. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a great debate. But yeah, like what Floyd was able to do to the opponents that he fought was just like the
It's
De
the
La
name. The
Hoyas,
names.
the
Yeah,
the
man.
the
It's the names.
Mosleys, the Zab Judas, like all these names, and Bud has also given Floyd nothing but credit for the defensive shit. Like like that's another thing, bro. Like if you can't hit me,
Yeah. Nah, I get it,
if
man.
you
I
can't
get it.
hit me, you know what I'm saying?
That's why
It's
he's still.
crazy. You know what I'm
That's why he's
saying?
still number
Like,
one for me. But I
mm,
could concede and I could understand the argument. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
That's why it's one of those debates where it'll be a great debate. You can go either way, because you can see both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're gonna have your preference of why you would go for something, but you can respect why somebody would choose that.
But
You know what I mean?
Bud made sure to put himself in that conversation, and you can't take him out of it.
Nah,
So that's good. That is great, and that's an amazing accomplishment in itself. Just to put yourself there, that no matter what, you're gonna mention me when it comes to it.
facts.
So yeah, man, that's fucking amazing, and this was an amazing episode, man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Got the new year coming up, man. Next time we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all next year. Um, man, appreciate all the love, man. Keep liking, subscribing. Um, keep spreading that love. You know what I'm saying? Primo Sports, we going up 2026. So make sure y'all stay tuned in, lock in. Lex, you got any parting words for?
You already know, same old shit, different toilet, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, sir. Primo's out.